Hello and welcome to part 4 of Vue JS Beginners to Advanced Interview Questions and Answers series. In this session, we will discuss some more Vue JS interview questions and answers. So let's start with our first question in this session. What is the basic structure of a .vue file? A .vue file typically consists of three blocks and may include additional optional blocks. First one is the template block. Template block contains the HTML structure of the Vue component's user interface. It defines what the component will render on the screen. The second important block inside a .vue file is the script block. Script block contains the JavaScript logic for the component. The component's data, methods, computed properties, and lifecycle hooks are defined in this block. And the third important block inside a .vue file is the style block. Style block contains the CSS styling for the component. You can scope the styles defined inside the style block so that they only affect elements within the current component and prevent styling conflicts with global style declarations. The example code illustrates the three .vue file blocks. Which tool you can use instead of Vue CLI? You can use the npm init vue command instead of the Vue CLI tool. The npm init vue command uses an official package that will help to initialize Vue projects. npm vue command will provide a command line wizard that will guide through the Vue project creation steps, which is very similar to that you will see while using Vue CLI. What is feature extension and what extension you can use instead of feature? Feature is a popular VS Code extension used in Vue.js development that helps with code highlighting and auto completion. You can use Volar extension instead of feature. What are props in Vue.js? Props is the technique used in Vue.js for passing data from a parent component to a child component. Props is the short name for properties. Based on the props they receive, we can make components highly reusable and dynamic. Props allow a one-way data flow. That means data can be passed only from a parent component to its direct child component. In the example code, you can see parent component passes data to the child component by binding custom attributes to the child component tag in the template. And the child component declares the props it expects to receive using the props option in its component definition. What is $emit in Vue? In Vue, $emit is used to send events and data up from a child component to its parent component. In the child component, the $emit method is used to trigger a custom event and optionally pass data along with it. In the parent component, an event listener for the custom event is attached to the child component's tag using von or @. When the child component emits the event, the associated method in the parent component is called. How to pass data between sibling components in Vue. In Vue JS, sibling components do not have a direct communication channel. A common ancestor is required to transfer data between sibling components. The usual scenario is to use their parent as a common ancestor or an intermediary. This is how to transfer data between sibling components in Vue.js. As the first step, the sibling component that needs to send data emits a custom event using $emit. The parent component will listen to this event emitted by its child component. Also, the parent component captures the data passed along with the event. As the next step, parent component passes the data it received to the child component, which is the sibling component that needs to receive the data. For that, the receiving sibling component should declare the name of the data to receive as a prop in its props option, and it can then access the data. What is provide in Vue.js? In Vue.js, provide is a part of the provide inject API. Provide is a mechanism in Vue that allows a parent component to serve as a dependency provider for all of its child components. It doesn't matter how deeply the child components are nested inside the parent component. In complex component hierarchy, using provide is very useful because it avoids the need to pass data down through multiple levels of props. Child components can inject or consume these provided values using the inject API. This example code illustrates the use of provide and inject. What is inject in Vue.js? In Vue.js, inject is a part of the provide inject API. Inject is a powerful way that allows child components to gather data served by the parent, no matter how deeply the child component is nested inside the parent component. Child component uses inject API to inject or consume the data provided by the parent component. The example code illustrates the use of inject. Can methods or functions be provided or injected like data in Vue? Yes, methods or functions can be provided or injected in Vue. What is global and local components in Vue.js? In Vue.js, components can be registered either globally or locally. They differ in their scope and accessibility inside the Vue application. Global components are those registered at the application level and they are available for use in any component inside the entire application. Global components do not need to be explicitly imported in each individual component. Global components can be registered using app.component method. Local components are available only within the parent component where they are registered. If any other component wants to use them, they will have to explicitly import and register the local component. Local components are registered using the components option of a specific parent component. This example code illustrates global and local component registration inside a Vue application. What is scoped style in Vue.js? In Vue, a style segment is scoped by adding scoped attribute on the style tag. Adding the scoped attribute ensure the CSS rules inside the style tag are applied to only the elements of the current component. So this avoids styles getting applied to elements in other components. So let us wind up this session here. We will discuss more Vue.js interview questions in the next session. Hope you find this video useful. Thank you for watching.